dignified livelihood of centers. Focus on Purvodaya states interpretation centers, connectivity, and 1.4 lakh crores of rupees to the states for the year 2026-2027 as Finance Commission grants. These include rural and urban local body and a declining New Income Tax Act. In July 2024, I announced a comprehensive review of the Income Tax Act 1961. This was completed in a record time, and the Income Tax Act 2025 will come into effect from 1st April 2026. The simplified income tax rules and forms will be notified shortly, giving adequate time to taxpayers to acquaint themselves with its requirements. The forms have been redesigned such that ordinary citizens can comply without difficulty. Ease of living. I propose that any interest award TDS on this account will be done away with. I propose to reduce TCS rate on the sale of depositories to accept Form 15G or Form 50 or her PAN-based challan instead of requiring a TAN, which is a temporary or asset, is proposed to be up to 1 crore rupees. They need to pay 30% of fair market value of asset or 30% of undisclosed income as tax. Prepayment is being reduced from 20% to 10% and will continue to be calculated only on core tax demand. As an additional measure for reducing litigation, I propose to allow taxpayers to up to furnishing of transfer pricing audit report and default in furnishing statement for financial transactions are proposed to be converted into fee, even those into fines. There is no penalty. There's no penalty presently for non-disclosure of non-immovable foreign assets with aggregate value less than 20 lakh rupees. I propose to also provide them with immunity from prosecution with retrospective effect from 1/10/2024. Cooperatives. Deduction is already allowed to a primary cooperative society engaged in supplying milk, oilseeds, fruits or vegetables raised or grown by its members. I propose to extend this deduction to also include supply of cattle feed and cotton seed produced by its members. I propose to allow inter-cooperative society dividend income as deduction under the new tax regime to the extent it is further distributed to its members. I further propose to allow exemption for a period of 3 years to dividend income received by a notified national cooperative federation on their investments made in companies up to 31/1/2026. This exemption would be allowed only for dividends further distributed to its member cooperatives. Supporting IT sector as India's growth engine. India is a global leader in software development services. IT enabler can be continued for a period of 5 years at a stretch at its customers globally by using data center services from India. Supposed to provide exemption from income tax for 5 years to and disclosure standards, the ICDS and disclosure standards, the ICDS, in the Indian buyback for all types of shareholders as capital gains. However, to disincentivize misuse of tax arbitrage, promoters will pay an additional buyback tax. This will make effective tax 22% for corporate promoters. For non-corporate promoters, the effective tax will be 30%. TCS rate for sellers of specific goods, namely alcoholic liquor, scrap, and minerals, will be rationalized to 2%, and that on tendu leaves will be reduced from 5% to 2%. I propose to raise the STT on futures to 0.05% from the present 0.02%. STT on options premium and exercise of options are both proposed to be raised to 0.15% from the present rate of 0.1% and 0.125% respectively. We reformed the tax rate reduced to 14% from the current MAT rate of 15%. The brought forward MAT credit of taxpayers accumulated till 30th March 2026 will continue to be available, or textile garments, leather or synthetic duty exemption to the import of capital goods, to exempt basic customs duty on specified parts used in the manufacture of microwave ovens. I propose to reduce the tariff rate on. In this regard, government approach on arrival. The customs were on this system by April 2026 itself. For goods not having any compliance requirement, clearance will be done under territorial waters. The following measures will be taken. A. Fish catch by an Indian fishing vessel in